Get real to heal. A couple of years ago, this came into my head, and I have a whole book written with this title, but I got interrupted by realness. My little trajectory, since I invoked get real to heal, that's what I got. So I got a couple of years of Kundalini exploding, hospital visits, doctors can't find anything. It got realer. It got realer. So careful what you invoke. Now, I used to say it kind of pushy. I was like a little dictator, going, y'all need to wake the fuck up. I didn't have the mustache, but it's a little bit of that tone. And so the universe said, okay, you need to be smacked down. If I get too high, knock me down. Exactly. So I wanted to say it with love. Get real to heal with love, with gentle admonition, not with dictatorial, didactic, controlling shouldism. So, but I'm going to focus on the get real part, it being real. By the way, this is a super chat, so if you want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat. I appreciate it because, like I've said before, I'm not doing sessions much at all anymore. Because I can't, because the universe has said you need to heal this part of yourself first. We may have a job for you later, but right now you need to settle down. These are phases we go through. So my little idea of doing Shaktipat, I was being seduced by energies and doing lots of ayahuasca retreats and kind of running, thinking I'm here to save the planet, pushing myself. And 145 flights, I figured out like 3 years ago in 1 year, running around the planet, burning the candle at both ends, burning my root chakra and my crown chakra a little too much, too fast. So I got wake-up calls, physical wake-up calls, and energetic. They're energetic. The doctors can't find anything. I had to go because I couldn't talk and I'd pass out. Typical Kundalini awakening, except that we're not quite ready for it yet. We don't know how to explain it on our world. So I'm going to suggest here the real path for those of us with ears to hear, hearts to feel, bodies to know, minds that are open, eyes to see. The realer path, the one that's out of duality. If we're going to stay in duality, it's the game of right and wrong, good and evil. That's fine. But if you're on the road out of duality, yeah, predict table, exactly. And that road is going to be unpredictable to your conceptual conned. You've been conned by concepts, conned by ideas, thoughts of how it should be, or what's it going to be like when I'm enlightened. Well, it's not going to be anything like what your mind projects it's going to be. You can't predict it. It's like telling someone who's never tasted an orange, try to tell them what it tastes like. Or someone who's never felt water. What are you going to tell them? It doesn't mean anything until they experience it or see color. People that have never seen colors, would you explain the colors? So when we're in the bicameral left-right hemisphere, divided, decided, set one against the other, divided against ourselves, divide and conquered, the mind it tries to be safe, it tries to create safety for us, right? Which is impossible. The end is always near. Thank you, Jim Morrison, So, but this search for safety creates all kinds of theories, ideas, information. It's binary code. We want to create, in our galaxy, we do end up creating, it's already here, there's no time, it's all circular, spiraling time. It all exists now, but we've created artificial intelligence, black goo, Terminators. We've created, and this timeline on Earth is heading into that place. Are we going to be able to work with technology and not have it take us over? AI, And that's the mind wanting to know. Years ago in America, the National Enquirer, one of the tabloids like the Daily Mail or whatever you had, the Sun or something in London, would have a slogan that said, "Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. What's the details? What's the latest gossip? Who's fucking who and who's dying and who's looking horrible and gaining weight?" So, well, the inquiring mind is alive and well in spirituality as well. It creates all kinds of scenarios, fear scenarios, lust scenarios, ideas, concepts. And since we are mostly still in a mind world, why does Jesus say, "My kingdom is not of this world"? Because this is a 3D fallen and divided world, us versus them. If you watch the news, it's pretty much us versus them. When are we going to go to civil war or global World War III again? Or it's all programming us versus them. But on the real path, when you're done with, like, is there something besides this? Men versus women, vegans versus carnivores, China versus the U.S., or playing the old Russia card, of course, because it was so long imprinted in us. Atheists versus theists, scientism versus, I don't know what, organicism. Yes. Hi, Julian. Forget about it. We're in the Kali Yuga. No way out. Sorry. Yeah, so this is the time when I heard someone say the crisis, I think I mentioned in the last video, is what pushes us to go beyond the two polarities, the dualities. That's why there's so much flip-flopping right now. People who are vegans are flipping into soup. All meat eaters all the time. That's just one example. People who are super democrats are starting the, what's it called, the gay hairdresser guy. I love him. He's such a sweet guy from New York. Brandon Strike, I was doing an exit program for people that are totally into being libtards. Sorry for the language. And they're flipping. And then, if you're noticing, holy cow, those that were for freedom are now for total oppression and socialism and Stalinism. They had to walk away, right? I love him because he's honest. And, and he's honest with his journey. Or Kanye West, willing to totally stand in the face of, And then recently for me, I'm like, wow, this Andrew Yang, who might run for president in the U.S., is talking about universal basic income. Now, that's the absolute opposite of super conservatism or libertarianism. But strange bedfellows, we're going to weave between the polarities now in the Kali Yuga, And when you can feel both sides without taking a side, you're getting somewhere. So this is what I'm calling the real path. The real path doesn't judge. I made a video a few years ago called God Doesn't Take Sides. God is on everyone's and everything's side. Anything made of light or atoms, no matter what the form looks like, is God. And us all spiritual people were yakking about oneness. We're all one. Yeah, well, let's live it instead of yak about it and create a little safe space, spiritual safe space, where I have my super diet and I'll eat all the right foods. I go to yoga. I do all that. Oh yeah, and I have a Kundalini experience. So you felt a little bit of energy, and you're like, oh, I had a Kundalini awakening. Really? Yeah, I've had those too to prepare me. I floated out of my. You have experiences. They're real, but the real oneness experience. If you look at Ramakrishna, he would just jump into the air and scream, fall catatonic on the floor for a week, and his disciples would carry him around. Sadhguru, who's all shiny and polished now, he's so beautiful and sweet and fun at Harvard and Stanford and appearing beautiful, but he spent, 23 days in a trance, no eating, nothing, and that would happen several times. He'd merge with the oneness. Now I would suggest probably from lifetimes of being a Shivaite, that's why he's doing Shiva Adiyogi, I love him. Yes, Carolina, Lucifer and Jesus, I've met them both at once. They were high-fiving each other. They're playing good cop, bad cop for us inside the world of duality. Now that's easy to say, and I'm giving you a concept. Experiencing it, the merging of the polarities, is a motherfucker. And a mother lover, and a father fucker, and a father lover, and a daughter and a son father fucker lover. It's a giant orgy of bipolarity, spiritual bipolarity, that's trying to merge inside your body, and you're hanging on for dear life going, I'm not crazy, I'm not fucking crazy, I'm not fucking crazy. And I used to go, let's go for it. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not recommending it to anybody, because God is giving me my own dosage of my own invoking, get real to heal. I just said that yesterday, Aphrodite. I was saying, hello, hell there, hell here, to my friend, shaman friend. That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's lots of places where you think you're enlightened and, right, and all that. Anyway, you can't outwit, outsmart, outplay the Tao. You won't survive. Da-dong! Outwit, outsmart, outplay, egos. It's not going to work. But it's scary as fuck. Because it is no respecter of you, your ego, your identity. I have a video out there somewhere that says, the real spiritual path will kill you. It will kill you, your persona. God is no respecter of persons. Lately, all the Bible stuff is showing up and what it really said to me, what it meant. So, being real is not going to look predictable. And I'm addressing it in the spiritual community, because there we think it's a great way to be superior. Talk about ivory tower syndrome, when you're a professor, you get to, those who don't know how to do, they teach. Those who aren't doing, teach, right? You get to hide in the ivory tower on the college campuses, which is obviously breaking down now. We're creating these cult-like followers that can't get jobs, and our universities have gone out of control, Worshipping an old paradigm. It's not about going to a university. The original, anyway, it's a whole story with that. Forget that. Fuck that. It's over. It's like media. It's all over. Yeah. So, on the real path, it will be very mysterious. Some years ago, don't kill me. I'm not a Buddha yet, so I'm cool, man. Don't kill me. I'm going for something. I talked to Mother one time, Mother Universe, Mother God, and said, if you have a piece of you out there somewhere that it would be right for me to hook up with, and we could learn from each other. And as soon as I said it, it came out of my mouth. It's almost like my spirit, my soul said it. I didn't have a conscious thing about it. I heard Mother go, really? You really ready to play? You really ready to play, not stay inside your little safe yogic space? And I thought it was, I've seen nature spirits. I've learned some of the shaman stuff. I thought, well, now what? And I got scared. I could feel, oh, fuck, what did I just invite? Careful what you ask for. A week later, I met Joy, who I've been together for quite a while. And we're completely opposite. Thank you, Leon, for the contribution. Complete opposite. She's from a conservative, all-American, super repressed, in a sense, church. And I'm already then, I've been like talking to the Titans out in the Superstition Mountains, meeting ancient, in native people in the mountains, little gnomes, and playing with yoga and experiences. And we're supposed to be together, and I'm like, what the fuck? Mother's over here going, you asked for a real journey? I'm like, fuck, what did I do? Right? And it got very real. The first 30 days of me being with Joy, I would say out loud to God, I hope you know what the fuck you're doing. And she'd go, what is wrong with you? But the energy, our soul energies together was undeniable, like just communion, heart, love. And as often it is, it's seducing you sexually. One of the best ways Cupid does it is he gets you hooked sexually, right? So you hook up with that person. The universe loves, sex is just just a tool to get you to hook up with each other. It's beautiful. And it's an amazing journey. And I had some people once ask me, I'm teaching to quote the awakening community, and we're having Shaktipat and people having huge experiences, and they see light energies and all this, and they think I'm some teacher, and they go, Joy seems like, she's a conservative American woman, and she's older than you, and they go, why are you with her? Because they have a spiritual idea, concept, image worship, idol worship. You should be with some New Age woman. How the fuck do you learn from each other? If you want to get beyond duality, you need the other side. It's too big a question, noob, to answer in just 2 minutes. You need to search it for yourself. And Lucifer, the band, yeah, try to start with that. Yeah, he lives in Cottonwood, by the way, Maynard. Doesn't he do that band, or is that Full Circle? I got it wrong, maybe. Anyway, so the real path will look unpredictable. It'll make no sense. So Baba used to say, Sai Baba, who I know is controversial, of course, all masters, real things, anything real is going to blow your mind concepts. It's going to blow your mind concepts out of the water. So the real path is not going to look programmable, especially spiritual programming. Spiritual programming is the worst. I do yoga, of course. I attend these seminars, of course. We've been to see Eckhart. I've seen so-and-so. Oh, yeah, isn't that beautiful? You're on the cutting edge. But no, you're not. You may not even be on the real path yet. For you, for your soul. You don't get to see what the real teachers do. You don't get to see Eckhart Tolle or Byron Katie when they're going through their shit. All you get to see is the shiny end product. You don't get to see Eckhart being homeless. You don't see Katie Byron terrified with agoraphobia staying in her room. You don't get to see that part. So, real path is going to be unpredictable. It's teaching, in my view, for me, teaching us to go, if you're trying to go beyond the duality, that's very, very different than some organized spirituality. Well, you look down on religion. Well, you're doing a religion. What's your religion? What's your religion? Following Abraham Hicks, David Wilcock, and those are great, by the way, they're all awesome. But I'm saying anything can turn into a routine pattern, and when you hit trying to merge the polarities, it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. So, be real, get real to heal. Now I'm doing it softly, not the old me pointing a finger. Get real, you fuckers. Wake the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and wake up and get real. That's not the right approach. So I had to get knocked on the head. With Kundalini, still going on. Still going on for me. So all these theories, spiritual theories I see you talking about, is inquiring mind. It's okay to start looking for truth. But looking for holding or healing or oneness is a whole different ballgame. And if you invite that, hang on for the ride. The real shamans, the crazy kachinas you see back here, it's a whole different ballgame. The closest we get is like, crazy masters. So, and luckily they're very loving with us. Of course, Shiva is very loving, and Jesus, and Sai Baba, Babaji, Yogananda, St. Francis, ayahuasca, etc. But ayahuasca can scare the shit out of you, because she's a true teacher. Any true teacher is beyond duality, so it's going to make you look at your idea of right and wrong. The whole Illuminati thing is a big seduction now. Is it true? Okay, yeah, it's all true. But that's totally in the world of duality. So, yeah, no crap, Raul. Bye-bye. You can go play with that by yourself. Anyway, so the real path is going to be real and unique for you. Now there's a bunch of people on the planet that are waking up to this, beyond the duality. everything. And this is maybe what it's forcing us to do. Like someone said, the crisis is a way to push you out of what you think you know, and spirituality and so forth, stagnant spirituality. Join us for the webcast Sundays tomorrow, where it's really about feeling those energies and sharing and loving and finding a community for people that are trying to wake out of the duality. Or it's starting to happen to them and they don't know what to do about it, and it's kind of freaking them out a little bit. All right, much loving. And if you're not doing, thank you, Lee, for the contribution, very helpful. InnerBodyAwakening.com. If you don't have it yet, I recommend you start with that. I am working on the full Tree of Life breath, of one full conscious breath, and coming soon as well. All right, much love. More to come. Tobias, Lars.com for everything, for the webcasts, for all the products and all that stuff. All the best to you guys.